like off center. I can't help anything with it because I cannot look at it unless I redo the whole entire thing again. Anyway, thank you for coming back to my channel. It's a new year, new me. Nope. Because I like me. So it's not new year, new me. It's new year, same me. Just slightly better. So this is going to be my TBR for 2023. I picked 23 books. It's a lot. Like, even last year I was like, I'm not gonna pick 22 books, and here I am picking 23 books because I was like, let's challenge myself. Obviously, with these, besides one, because I am currently listening to an audiobook for one of them, but like most of these I would like to like physically read instead of listening to the audiobooks. I like to try. If I can't, I'm not gonna cry about it. At least I got to them. I'm starting off with House of Breath and Fire. House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Yes, I still haven't read it yet. I may have spoiled myself for the ending because my sister-in-law told me like something about Reese meeting Bryce and them, and I was like, nah! I feel like that's not in there. So like I went to look. My dumbass. I just want to try to see if I can find the name Reese. Didn't, but I did. If you haven't read it yet, click off for a few seconds. I did read Bryce's best friend opened her eyes and took her first breath, or something like that. And I was like, wait, Danica? She's alive? I knew that bitch was gonna be alive. Like, that's her best friend. She's a main character. She can't die. Anyway, so I'm so excited to read this. Alright, so the next book will be Court of Silver Flames. Of course, is another Sarah J. Maas book. Haven't read it yet. I think I've been spoiled a lot more on this one. And it wasn't literally, I didn't get spoiled on this. Like, I lasted a year. Because I'm pretty sure this was published first, and then it was the second Crisis Ending book. I have not been, spoiled on this for, almost, a whole entire year until my sister-in-law started reading this series. And then for some reason, on my For You page, suddenly there was a whole bunch of, stuff, and I was like, wait, besties, what's happening? And my sister-in-law spilled some beans about something. She hasn't read it yet either. I think we're gonna try to read it together. But yeah, so I may know some spoilers. Sadly. Alright, so keeping up with the whole romantic, dark-haired boy look situation. We got Kingdom of the Feared. I bought this as a prequel. Did I? Yeah, is this signed? All I just noticed is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. I don't know if it's also signed. No, it's not. I guess she's no longer... She's not. Because I realized, up here, it doesn't say the James Patterson. So it looks like she switched to Little Brown Publishing, which is, I hate the James Patterson, banner that goes on top. I hate it. So I hope when they release, if they ever make a book set, that they do the same thing. Because, legit, I would probably get rid of my books if they did that. Anyway, this is the last book in the trilogy, sadly. I am excited for Wrath. And the way that they ended it, fucking cock block move. I was like, ooh, we're getting into it. And then no. End book. And so I'm excited to start this. I wonder if 20 years before. I don't care about 20 years before. I care about 3. Anyway, so I'm excited to read it. Now, I am currently listening to this one on audiobook right now, and that is Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat. Dude, this is a used edition, and I got it for $4.99. I was like, bitch, what? And it's in almost perfect condition. There's a bit of tiny, no, not even shelfware. It's just edges are a little creased, but that's it. And I was like, I'm gonna get it. Now, I feel like if I went down this route, okay, they claim that he is a hero, but if I was going down this route, there was a moment where I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, what if he's actually the reborn Dark King? So low-key, I'm thinking he could be the reborn Dark King. that would add a great, like, tension. So granted, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to go down that route. It would have been great if they did. But yeah. I'm excited to finish this because I'm currently listening to the audiobook for this right now. And next I have an indie book, which is The Serpent, the Wings, and the Wings of Night. So, I did an unboxing of this on my Instagram because I think I'm just doing, like, if I get books, I'm just going to do unboxings on my Instagram story for my Bookstagram. Unless it's, like, a huge order. Then I most likely won't. Unless I'm really lazy. But this book, I solely bought it because A, pretty cover and undercover, and B, they say it's like ACOTAR. Now, this is from BookTok. Granted, BookTok, you know, they got one hit wonder with Sarah J. Maas and instantly became popular. Which, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel. Like, obviously I want everyone to read Sarah J. Maas, but, like, it came to a point where they put her on a pedestal, which is fine. So, yeah, people say this is like ACOTAR. Now, a lot of people will claim a lot of books are like ACOTAR. But as I said, it wasn't just that. It was a pretty cover and a pretty undercover. That's one of the main reasons I got it. Now, I just took it at face value, thinking it was fae. It's not. It's vampires. It deals with vampires. Which I love vampires, so I'm gung-ho either way. Next up, we got Game of Thrones. Now, I know I had this last year on my TBR, and, like, I'm pretty sure the year after that, but, like, this year, I think I'm actually determined to read it, because the reason why I really kept it off is because I've been waiting for the next installment, and homie hasn't done one in, like, 10,000 years. But I figure it's gonna keep staying, and this is more of a slowly read. Like, I feel like this is more of a, like, a whole entire year of reading this. Like, I'm gonna slowly progress through it, unless I end up really liking it a lot, because I feel like, I don't know, just personally, I feel like it's more of a, like, for me, it's just a slow read, and not inhaling it. This, I definitely need to read physically, because the reason why I bought a used copy that looks this, worn, is because I plan to, like, highlight things that are happening in here. And this is, like, the Game of Thrones series is a series I plan to highlight and annotate as best as I can, because I've never done it my whole entire life. So, yeah. Everyone knows what Game of Thrones is about. I'm obviously going to love the Daenerys point of views. I do know she's actually a child in the books. She's not her age in the series. But, like, she has dragons, so she's gonna be badass either way. So next we have The Dinosaur Lords by Victor Malin. Now, of course, George R. Martin. Comment saying it's like a cross between Jurassic Park and Game of Thrones. I originally bought this, like, a few years ago. I bought it because a booktuber bought the series as well. Granted, I don't think they ever read it. I don't know, it's been a while since I've checked their page. I don't think they read it, because I don't remember them ever bringing it up again. But I was like, fucking dinosaurs? Mixed with, like, lords and ladies? Sold. So I bought it. I bought the trilogy off of Book Outlet, so they were cheap. And they're all in hardcover. I'm surprised. Oh, there's the dot. The proof of Book Outlet. So I am excited to read it. Literally, the only thing I know about it is that it is dinosaurs. Instead of horses, they ride dinosaurs, and they go off into a war. And lords and ladies, yeah, that's it. That's all I really know about it. But it's dinosaurs, and I love them. So, I don't know, maybe one day this will become a television series. There needs to be more which I'm so excited for 65, or is it 63? I think it's 65, because it was 65 billion years ago since the dinosaurs roamed the world. I'm so, with Adam driving it, I'm excited. Keeping up with dinosaurs, we got Lost World by Michael Crichton. I did attempt to listen to an audiobook of it, but it was like a fan-made audiobook of it. Because with the first book, I did listen to it on audiobook, but my library for some reason doesn't have the second book on audiobook. But the fan one, like, felt so awkward with one of the accents that he was giving, and so I stopped listening to it. I know I got in a few chapters in. I did. Maybe I'll continue with it. I don't know, but there's science stuff in this, and it was easier to listen to it than I'm sure if it was to read it. But I am excited to get to this. I really want to. Sticking to a sci-fi sort of thing, because I guess Jurassic Park is technically sci-fi. Is it sci-fi? Science fiction, yeah, it's gotta be, because it deals with science, and it's fiction. So yeah, that's science fiction. We're going to Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. He's the guy that made the Eragon series. So, pumped to read it. That's the reason I bought it. It's because it's written by the Eragon guy. And I know it's sci-fi. It says, space holds countless secrets. You just found one. Oh, she just found one, the deadliest one. So I know nothing about it. Kira finds an alien relic. Okay. So I'm assuming this alien relic is a dangerous thing, and she probably has to keep hold of it and make sure it doesn't fall into wrong hands, and she probably becomes a fugitive. Could be wrong. I don't know. But I am excited to read this one. Take a shot of how many times I've said excited. With another sci-fi book, we got Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. The thing I know about this is that her dad was a pilot, but he became a traitor. So everyone thinks that she's a traitor, or she's bad blood, and she wants to be a pilot to prove them all wrong that she's not. But obviously, I think something happens to where she has to go on the run. That's all I got. From what I remember of reading the blurb, like, last year. Because I'm pretty sure this was on my list last year, I think. Clean the Stars. Now going to a little bit of true crime, we got All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers. I got this as a Christmas present, and I plan to read it this month, because there's a challenge this month that says, read a Christmas present. So, I do listen to true crime, their podcasts, Crime Junkie. So I'm interested in this. As far as I'm aware, it is a actual, like, fiction book, but I think it's inspired by, something. Ooh, Indiana, of course. Feels like a lot of true crime stuff happens in Indiana, in that area. So yeah, all I know is true crime. Sticking with that, we have Nancy Drew, Volume 2, by Carolyn Keene, which isn't actually a person. It's, like, anonymous authors. No, Volume 2 has has 3 books in it. I am actually currently reading this right now, like, physically. But, like, I think I literally just started it. Like, I was a few pages in, and then I was, like, super tired, so I just went to bed. But yeah, I can't wait to read this. It took me, like, a few months to get through the first volume, because I was slowly going through it. Because, I mean, it's not, like, the most entertaining, but it's, like, feels nice and warm when I read it. Like, I'm just sitting by a fireplace, without actually sitting by a fireplace, and just absorbing. Like, this is very kid-like true crime. So next up, we have a manga, Death Note, the first black edition. I got this as used from a bookstore that's now closed, sadly. I'm mad. I'm mad at them for closing. I think this holds 2 volumes in it. Yeah, it contains volume 1 and 2. So I'm excited to read it. The reason why I picked a manga, because most of my collection has been read. So, like, even if I wanted to try to find, like, a third manga to read for this year, it'd be tough, because I read, like, 90% of my manga collection. The only ones I haven't read is Attack on Titan, Black Butler, Spy Family, but I just bought the recent volumes. And, like, a few books for Sir Vamp, but I'm not gonna read Attack on Titan until, like, I've consistently more volumes to read through. And similar to Black Butler, because I don't even have the first, second, or third. I think I have the way later on in the series. So yeah, I feel like I'm breathless. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And I've been sort of dragging my feet with this one a little to read, because I'm like, ooh, Death Note is, it's a more of a heavier stuff, and it looks like there is a lot of writing. Which, I mean, obviously I read books, so that reading a lot of writing doesn't bother me, but when it comes to manga, I like more of a smaller writing. Because, like, I like, if I just read a whole bunch of words, I feel like it just feels like a regular book, and it snaps me out of me consuming it. So I am a little worried about this. But I will read it. Manga is the complete opposite of Death Note. We got Sailor Moon Volume 1. I do own Sailor Moon Volume 2 and 3, and I think it doesn't have a lot of words, so yeah, I think the only reason I'm like a little bit more iffy about reading is because it is a thicker volume, for a manga. But I am excited to read it because I've always wanted to read Sailor Moon. I watched the original anime, and I started watching Sailor Moon Crystal. I only got to like season 2 in the beginning of season 2, and I just haven't picked it up since, for some odd reason. I am excited to get to the manga to see what happens. Like, yeah. So I'm going to try to get to these a little bit faster because I'm starting to run out of space. First we got the Husky and his white cat, Shizen. I will not pronounce that name because I will butcher it. I tried pronouncing it to my friend who was born in China, and I apologized profusely to him. I was like, I'm so sorry. I know that was some shit pronunciation. But yeah, the only thing I need to know, all that I know is that Minter and Trainee, so it's a teacher AU, I think. But they hate each other. So we got enemies to lovers. That's the only thing I know about it. So I'm excited to read. Now I'm going to show all of these books together because they're all by the same author. We got Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation, the Scum Villain Self-Saving System, and then the Heaven's Official Messages. If you know about this, you know about this. To people who don't know about this, it's gay. It's gay. That's all you need to know, pretty much. If you want to know further stuff about it, I would recommend just, because like I feel like I would just not do these books justice by explaining each volume. But I am excited to read this, and I do have the second volume, so I can go straight into the second volumes. And I was going to buy the third volumes through Right Stuf Anime because they're having a sale during the Christmas spirit time. But I'm like, no, I shouldn't, because I haven't read the first volumes yet. So I've been withholding buying the rest of the volumes that are currently out right now because I want to read the first book. And then once I start the second book, then I'll probably order the 3 volumes of like the third volume. Yeah. Also by the same author, so I'm going to show them together as well. We got The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim and Unravel the Dusk. These are both very loot editions. They're gorgeous. And this one does have a tear, but I ended up getting a newer edition because they're like, oh, sorry about the damage. So they returned it to me. I don't know what to do with this one. I thought about selling it, but like, it's still pretty. So Dragon's Promise is the second book, and this is the second book as well. This is a Mulan retelling, but she's a seamstress. Shit. I may be mixing up my Asian reads. I could be wrong about this one. This one is a retelling of an Asian fairy tale, but I don't exactly know what it's called. Because I remember reading a book and they were talking about the book of the retelling of this Asian story, folk tale. And I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like this book. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be thinking Oh, I'm thinking of the first book of the Six Crimson Cranes, because that's originally a folk tale. So, I'm sorry I'm everywhere. They're Asian books. I'm excited to read them. They're stunning covers. Next up, we have Heart of the Sun Warrior, another Asian book. Now, the first book is also a retelling of an Asian folktale about a moon goddess, and sort of, it doesn't follow the moon goddess's story, it follows her daughter's story in the original books, these books. But the moon goddess does have a folk tale of, yeah. Anyway, so this is the second book, which continues to follow her story. Granted, I like the other love interest. The one that's not the prince. I like him a lot. It's not because that's a spoiler. Never mind. But yeah. I can't help it. I attract to a certain type of fictional character. So I am excited to read it. Then lastly, the 23rd book is The Red Palace by June Hur. This, I'm pretty sure it's Korean inspired. Could be wrong. Joseon, I think that's Korean. Okay. Basically takes place in the what period? It says 1758 Joseon. So whatever period that is, and it's like the crown prince and all that, but like in the palace there is a murder and they have to figure out what that murder is. So I think it's like a true crime in that period. So that's exciting. Now that was that is going to be my 2023 book TBR. It's a lot. It's a lot of books. Fuck. Yeah. Let's see if I can do that. Hopefully my next video will be like my TBR from last year to see what I read out of that TBR. I know I'm pretty sure it's like close to half of the books that I picked out. If not, I'm so sorry. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Whenever that is. I'll see you then.